When packing for your cruise, you're going to want to make sure that you are avoiding any prohibited items. Unfortunately, on a recent cruise, I was caught with a couple of banned cruise items. Yes. So what are the top 2 banned cruise items that cruisers are bringing on board? And 7 items that you'll want to make sure that you will avoid packing because these are banned and prohibited, and some could even get you arrested. Something you definitely don't want to bring are firearms and ammunition. This includes buying any ammunition at a port and also any replicas of ammunition. If you are caught with any ammunition or firearms, this will result in not only having those items confiscated, but thrown off the cruise ship and possibly also arrested with a long sentence as well to go with that. So definitely avoid any firearms, ammunition, and replicas of those as well. Now, along with weapons, you want to make sure that you're not bringing any knives and you're not purchasing any knives at a port. Now, some people like to purchase knives when they go to port, such as when they're going to Alaska. I've seen lots of knife shops there in Alaska when I was there. And if you do this, there's nothing wrong with that, but also make sure that you are shipping it home because you're not going to be able to bring it back on board. Now, some cruises will allow you to bring it back on board, but they're going to confiscate it from you and they will hold it until you leave the cruise. So it's better safe than sorry to just go ahead and have it shipped back home if you do purchase a knife when you are at the cruise port, instead of trying to bring it back on board with the possibility of you're not going to receive it back. Now, another thing that can get you thrown off the ship and even disbarred from that cruise line altogether is illegal drugs and even CBD oils or even CBD products. And I know some people like to bring CBD products on. It helps them sleep at night, but these are banned on cruise lines. And if your room steward were to find it, and there has been articles showing where room stewards have found this and reported it, and the passengers were asked to leave and they were confiscated from them. Now, something else that you want to make sure that you're not bringing is anything that could cause a fire. Candles, anything flammable, irons, steamers, anything like that. Now, one of the top 2 things that are brought on cruises that are confiscated are irons and steamers. I was recently on the Icon of the Seas, and yes, I brought one of those items, and it was a steamer. That was my very first time to ever bring a steamer on, and I knew better. I knew that we probably shouldn't have brought a steamer on. I knew irons weren't allowed. Now, I have also had the question asked, can flat irons for a woman's hair be brought on? Yes, you can bring a flat iron, you can bring a curling iron, you can bring a hair dryer, but you cannot bring an iron for your clothes, you cannot bring a steamer, coffee pots, hot plates, anything like that. Now, I did talk to some of the Royal Caribbean crew members from the Icon of the Seas when I went to get my steamer after the cruise because it was confiscated. And it was on a table right outside the cruise ship. And I asked them, what are some popular things that they're seeing constantly getting confiscated from cruisers? And the top one was steamers and irons. There was a whole table. They just kind of went like this and showed me on the table. There was a whole table full of irons and steamers, and they even had one hot plate on the table. So yes, I don't know why I was thinking that, but don't bring irons or steamers or even a hot plate on your cruise. They will be confiscated from you, and most likely they go to, some cruise lines call them the naughty room or just the confiscated table, and you can pick them up after your cruise. Also, if this is helpful for you, please give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. It definitely helps out. And I'm going to link a couple of the cruise lines prohibited list in my description below, so be sure to check that out. Now, I know I said I had 2 items that were taken from me on the Icon of the Seas, but I actually forgot. I actually had another item that was confiscated from me on a Carnival cruise. And this is a banned item on all cruise lines, and that is alcohol. Now hold on before you say anything. I was on a 5-week back-to-back cruise in Alaska. And 3 of those weeks were an elite cruise week. And on an elite cruise week, you get your choice of liquor that can be brought to your room if you so choose. So myself and my husband both chose 2 different types of liquor. Now we were on, we had 3 of those weeks of the 5, so that was 6 bottles of liquor. We were not drinking a whole bottle of scotch and a whole bottle of tequila while we were in the room during the weeks that we were there. We also had free alcohol, so there was no point in us drinking those bottles. I have a liquor cabinet at home, and I thought, oh, I'll bring it home and it'll take a while before I drink drink all of this. So, you know, it'd be a nice little addition to my liquor cabinet. 6 free bottles of liquor, why not? And well, we came into Seattle when we got off that cruise, and we decided to fly directly over to Baltimore to get on another Carnival cruise to go to Greenland right after that. And we knew that we should not take all 6 of those bottles with us to the Greenland cruise on that Carnival cruise line. And we talked to them up front, asked them about it, and we were assured that it would be held to a side and it would be confiscated, but it would be held to a side and we could pick it up at the end of our cruise, since they were given to us by our Carnival cruise. I don't know where the miscommunication came in, but that was not the case. We lost all 6 of those bottles. So can you imagine what they were thinking when they saw 6 bottles of liquor in our suitcase? They probably thought we were coming on there to have some kind of a party or something. But yeah, so 6 bottles of liquor were taken from us and thrown away when we were headed out to Greenland. So definitely make sure you're not bringing any bottles of liquor or anything like that. Now, some cruise lines will allow you to bring bottles of wine on with a cork. You have to make sure it's corked wine. The 750 milliliter bottles of wine, nothing large or anything like that, not a gallon jug or anything, but you can bring the 750 milliliter bottles, and they're usually limited to 2 bottles. So check with your cruise line to make sure. I know Royal Caribbean, Carnival lets you, so definitely check with your cruise line to make sure that you can bring bottles of wine on. You cannot bring beer or any hard liquor or anything like that on to the cruise. Now, you can't bring soda on, but you can only bring like 12 pack of cans per person. So you can't bring a whole case of cans, and you cannot bring anything that with a screw top. So no screw tops, but it has to be cans. So that's just a tip there if you're wanting to bring sodas on or any wine on, if you're not wanting to buy any drink package. Another banned item, and this is what was taken from me, but I was really actually kind of surprised by this, and it's surge protectors. You can't have surge protectors on cruises. Now, why I was surprised is because I didn't have a surge protector. Mine was actually a power strip, and I have taken this on many Carnival cruises before, but on Icon of the Seas, it was taken. And it was on that table along with my steamer. And when I was talking to them, they said the top 2 things are irons and steamers and surge protectors. And, I talked to them and I explained to them it wasn't a surge protector, it's a power strip. And they had told me that anything with a cord will get confiscated just for any kind of confusion or anything like that. And I have heard this recently, that a lot of people are doing away from those power strips just because of any kind of confusion that cruise lines may have. Now, I didn't try to take it when I was on the Wonder to see if it's a royal thing, because Carnival has never confiscated it from me. So I just said, forget it. I just won't try to pack it with me anymore. And I'm now packing this here. It's just the block, and that is what I suggest. So there's no confusion. You can avoid any kind of confusion when you are on a cruise. Just take the block if you need some extra outlets or USB ports on the cruise. Now, actually, I really didn't need it when I was on the Icon of the Seas, because a lot of these newer ships have so many more outlets, USB ports, and USB-C ports. So that's a great thing. Now, the reason I was taking it before was because I was cruising on a lot of older Carnival ships, and they only had 1 outlet, no USB ports, no USB-C ports, nothing next to your bed. And I like to have a fan next to my bed. So I had that. So it was kind of like an extension cord, so it could reach over towards my bed, so I could have the fan next to my bed that took a USB port. So I've gotten smarter with that, and the solution I have with that, if I'm on an older cruise ship now and I don't have a USB port next to my bed, I now have a battery pack. So this battery pack lasts me through the night. It has a USB port on it, and I just plug my fan into it and everything is great. So that is allowed, and I don't have to worry about anything being confiscated now. So hopefully no more mishaps and no more miscommunication there. I hope these were helpful tips for you when you're trying to pack and making sure that you avoid packing any prohibited items. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.